Last year, I made a lot of investments in both myself and my business, and so many of them left me questioning if I made the right choice. From buying a $47 workshop to a $700 a month mastermind or a $2,000 program, all of these left me feeling deflated as soon as I handed my cash over. And it wasn't that they weren't good offers or programs. You've probably also been there where you've invested in something online and then felt really disappointed by that purchase. Buyer's remorse is real, meaning your customers can also feel feelings of anxiety, guilt, or regret after they make a purchase from you. This is totally normal, and from my experience, it's not always the offer itself that's bad, but most of the time it comes down to these three things. 1, poor communication after the purchase. Number 2, pushy sales tactics that cause someone to make a rash buying decision without giving them time to make a considered purchase. And number 3, a disappointing offer that either wasn't as promised or just wasn't that well thought out. I hate to break it to you, but sales isn't over when you make the sale and you get that money in your bank account. In fact, the moment someone hands over their hard-earned cash, you actually need to do a lot of work to reassure them that they made the right decision as soon as possible. If you're not doing anything to mitigate that regret and risk in your client's mind after the purchase, your job as a salesperson is not done. I don't care if you're selling high ticket or low ticket products, customer experience really is everything, not just a fluffy, nice to have. Focusing on delivering a great customer experience can have a dramatic impact on your future sales. It impacts your reputation, the number of referrals and repeat bookings you get, and the results that your clients get from working with you, which in turn, again, leads to more sales. Our brains as humans are hardwired to be risk averse. So that means that after we make a purchase, we want to be reassured that we made the right decision. Focus on that and providing a great customer experience, and it can dramatically increase your business growth. So how do you fix this and leave your customers feeling more excited and confident that they made the right decision instead of feeling that regret? That's exactly what I'm going to dive into today so you can kick buyer's remorse to the curb. Stay tuned. The first and most important thing in this whole video is that you need to create a really good offer that delivers on the promised transformation. If your goal is sustainable business growth, that is not happening if you're selling a subpar product. Your offer needs to be built intentionally so that it delivers the transformation that you promise in your marketing. Otherwise, you're just setting your customers up for disappointment and for failure. We want them to be getting results. We want to create something that's going to foster results. So, for example, if you're selling a course, the curriculum needs to be strategically designed, and it should have the exact info that people need rather than an overwhelming fire hose of content just to bombard them with facts and information that aren't going to help with that transformation. You also need to provide potentially a support system if it's needed to help people implement your program and actually get the results from doing the work that they signed up to do. You also need to provide clear action steps that move them toward that outcome. If you're selling a coaching package, your session should be structured in a way that maximizes results, which means a clear roadmap so clients know what to expect, homework or action steps in between sessions, and a way to track progress so that they can feel that momentum and keep building on it. Or if you're selling something as simple as a template or digital product, it should be easy to use, clearly explained, and designed to give someone a quick win right away. Now, when I talk about the quality of your offer being super important, I don't mean that you need to have fancy tools, expensive production quality, fancy tech. You don't have to hire a big team to make this happen. The thing that matters most is that your offer does what it says it will do. So customers don't walk away thinking, well, that just wasn't worth it. Some of the big mistakes that I actually see in the online space are things like promising access to the creator of an offer when actually you have a whole team of coaches that you haven't even talked about on the sales page. This is an absolute no. Firstly, people are joining an offer with the promise and expectation that they're going to be getting access to you and insights from you personally. So you need to be transparent about what's happening on the other side of that purchase, whether they're going to be trained by you, whether you have a team in place, and what systems and processes you have in place to ensure they still get results, even if they're not learning from you directly. Other mistakes I see are overstuffed offers where people feel like to demonstrate the value of what's inside, they need to just put more things in. And actually that is so far from the truth. It can actually leave your customers feeling overwhelmed with no idea how to take action, which in turn means that they're just not getting the results that they're paying you for. By creating an intentional customer experience through your program that leads them to getting that desired transformation, you're setting them up for success and you're setting them up for those continued results. The next tip you want to consider is to use ethical and non-pushy sales tactics. If people feel regret after buying, ask yourself, did they actually want to buy or were they pressured into it? There's a lot of bad marketing advice out there, and it can be really easy to fall into the trap of thinking that you need to use a ton of urgency or heavy discounts or countdown timers to give people a deadline where they need to purchase by. They can be very effective, but I always go back to that quote, with great power comes great responsibility. If you're going to use manipulative sales tactics, you need to be using them in the right way, a less forceful way. You need to treat your customers like adults. They are not children. They are able to make a buying decision on their own, and they're able to understand whether this offer is for them. So by giving them all of the information they need and attracting people into your offer, by using the right messaging, you're actually going to be doing a better job and have people that are more excited to join because they've made a conscious decision on their own and they were empowered to make a decision. Pushy sales tactics might get you a quick win and get you a sale, but they also lead to more refund requests, more customer complaints, and fewer repeat buyers. And also you're going to get less good testimonials and less good results. Instead, focus on ethical, trust-based sales. Give people enough information to make an empowered decision, allow them the space to decide instead of rushing them into an offer, and be transparent about exactly what's inside so they know exactly what to expect. They can figure out whether your method actually works for their personality, for their skill set. A confident and well-informed buyer is generally a happy buyer, and happy buyers are more likely to turn into your raving fans. I actually have another video all about how to make your sales copy more ethical, so I'm going to link that here. The next thing you can do, and this is a really simple but overlooked tactic, is having a really great thank you page after someone buys from you. Your thank you page isn't just a confirmation to say, hey, you bought this thing, thanks so much. It's actually an opportunity to keep the excitement going, and it also is a really great tool for minimizing that buyer's remorse. Right after someone buys, they are in a moment where they're suddenly thinking, oh my God, like I've just made this purchase, did I make the right decision? Which is the perfect time to reassure them. Reassure them that they made the right decision by reminding them of potentially what results they can expect. Set expectations on what happens next and tell them exactly where to look out for details. Will they be getting login information for your online course in their inbox? Do they need to check their spam folder in case they didn't actually see the email? Tell them exactly what to do and they're more likely to do it. You can also potentially give them instant value by recording a video of yourself and putting it on the page and telling them you're excited that you joined them and that you know it was a lot for them to trust you. Here's some amazing results that other people have got. So reminding them of the reason that they bought and just reassuring them that they're on the right path. Link all of this back to the results that they signed up for, the program promise that you're selling, the transformation, and you're going to really help stop that remorse from setting in. The other thing you could consider here is if you want them to follow you on a certain social media channel, or if you have a YouTube account that you want them to subscribe to, just give them some kind of next step to keep in touch with you. It's a really great way to build up your following on a multitude of platforms as well. There's so much that you can do with a really strategic thank you page. So if you're not doing anything to utilize it and you literally just have the words thank you on it, you are really missing out. The next thing, and this is something that so many people skip, having a great onboarding experience that actually encourages people to log in and also fosters people getting results. A lot of businesses drop the ball here. Someone buys and then they just allow them to freely log in as they please into an online course, or they don't necessarily give them reminders of call times and things, and they don't remind them of all the goodness that's inside the offer. So for example, if you have video lessons, you have community, you have live calls, you need to be reminding them about all of these features and what they can get out of it so that they remember to log in and make use of them. The more they're making use of everything in your offer, again, the more likely they are to get results, because remember, you strategically designed that offer to foster a transformation. And so we want them to be utilizing everything that's going to get them there. The first 1 hour to 48 hours are really critical after someone makes a purchase to making sure your customers stay excited about that purchase. So here's how you can do it. The easiest and most scalable way of doing this is sending automated emails. As soon as someone signs up for your offer, a series of emails should be arranged to go out on autopilot that leads them through a strategic journey. So for example, on day one, you might just send them their login details, remind them of results they can get, remind them that you're there on the other side of that inbox if they ever have any questions. Keep it simple, tell them you're excited, thank them again for joining your offer, and you'll be already on a step to building that better relationship with them. I recommend having a sequence of a few emails, and depending on your offer, depends on what emails you're going to need. So I'm not going to go in too much depth here, but remember, if you have things like live calls, you want to be reminding them of how they can see exactly when those calls are, so linking them to things like calendars. If you don't have any live elements, but you have different ways of getting support, you want to be reminding them of that. And also, if you have a community, you want to be encouraging people probably multiple times to sign up and use that community. Where can they ask questions? What kind of questions should they be asking? If they have a problem with logging in, is that the right space, or is that for somewhere else? If they have a question about specifically the content, or they can't access a template, where should they be doing that? Do you want them to introduce themselves in a specific channel? The more instruction you can give them, the more likely they are to do it. You want to be super clear about those next steps. The next thing that you can do, and I'm a big fan of this, is sending people a quick personalized direct message or email, especially for high ticket offers. I always say this, a little personalization goes a long way, but if you actually genuinely seem excited that someone has joined your offer, send them a message. There's no harm there. And it also fosters, again, building that relationship so that if they do ever have a question or need anything, they're more likely to reach out to you and ask because they feel like they can and they feel like you have their back. Now more than ever, people need more interaction with the people they're buying from, and they need to build that trust. And again, building trust with people doesn't actually stop after you make the sale. You need to continue that. They need to continue to trust you. This is why I'm a really big fan of the non-scalable method. Now, you can probably set up some automated DMs. There's so much tech out there that you could probably set this up on autopilot, but if you have the capacity or you have a team where you're able to do this, I recommend sending one-on-one messages and just, it doesn't have to be anything special. It can just be a quick, hey, I saw you join this. I'm so excited to support you. Let me know if there's anything I can do for you, or let me know when you've logged in, okay? And just take it from there. If they then decide to follow up and ask questions, great, you can continue the conversation. But if not, just let them know that you're there and build that trust so that they feel comfortable showing up. Especially if you have a community element or group coaching calls, you want them to feel confident in asking for your support in that environment. And so by building that relationship further, they're more likely to show up and use that. The more people you have utilizing those spaces as well, the better results, again, everyone else is going to get, and the more beneficial it is to everyone. I'm sure we've all been in those spaces where people have a community and they'll post a question and it's just crickets. You want to be avoiding that if possible. Another thing that I really think makes a great onboarding experience is giving people something to consume as soon as possible. So if they are working towards this larger transformation, you want to make it really easy and exciting for them to get started instead of it feeling daunting. So focus on giving them the first next steps. A really great way of doing this could actually be some kind of quiz where you ask them a few questions about their current skill level, their current knowledge, their current struggles, and then you point them in the direction of resources that are going to help them first and best. This works particularly well for offers where not everyone is joining and starting at that same point. If you have a more linear course where people are all starting from the same point, they all have to learn a certain structure, then great. Just tell them to get stuck in straight away to the first lessons and tell them the results they can expect to get from that too. I've also seen this done really well in a specific course that I joined where they gave you a roadmap based on the time you had available in every single week. So for example, if you had 8 hours free a week to work on the course content, they sent you a timeline of what you should be working on every single week so that you knew, okay, right, this week, these are the tasks I'm doing and I can just pop this in my calendar and crack on. This kind of extra level of detail is the thing that's going to set you apart and provide a really great customer experience so it keeps people excited and again, fosters those results, which is exactly what we're looking for here. And the next point is you want to be delivering quick wins. We want to be building on your customers' momentum. And when they purchase from you, they're at the point where they're most excited about your offer. This is when you really want to capitalize on that and get them logging in, because if they don't log in straight away or they don't start working with you straight away or take action on whatever it is you want them to do, whether if it's coaching, booking a call with you, if they don't do that straight away, they're less likely to do it at all. So ask yourself this. What's one thing they can implement in the first 24 hours that's going to help them get some kind of result? And what small win can they get right away that proves that joining your offer was a great decision? I love to think of this in terms of a timeline of your overall transformation and what is the first step towards that larger transformation that they can take and how can you get them to do it straight away. The faster they see results, even small ones, the more confident they'll be that they made the right choice and the more they're likely they are to keep logging in and keep getting those small wins, which we all know build on each other, stack on each other and continue to create bigger transformations. So if you want to stop people regretting buying your offers, you want to be creating a quality offer that delivers on its promise. You want to be using ethical sales tactics that empower buyers instead of pressuring them. You want to make your thank you page work for you. You want to have an onboarding experience that keeps your audience engaged and logging in and getting results. And you want to help them get quick wins so that they stay excited. If you do these things well, you're well on your way to having a much better customer experience. And those customers are way more likely to become big fans of your brand. They're going to be the people out there championing you and recommending you in rooms that you're not even in. So let me know in the comments which of these you're already doing and which ones you're going to look at improving next. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.